Okay, so you may be thinking, is the Conquer Food community for me? Is it right for me? Is it going to do the things that I want it to do? Is it going to help me with my habits? Is it going to help me with my addiction to sugar or my relationship with food or my lack of motivation or inspiration or whatever? And basically, what I want to do is I want to kind of walk you through one of the worksheets that we get our members to work through, because I think it paints the right picture. It gives you an idea of the kind of things we're looking at here. And that is this little worksheet, which we call the Tree of Truth. Now I'm going to walk you through this in a minute. This is in itself is quite powerful stuff, but it basically sits in our second module in part 2 of the Conquer Food program, which is the O for only accept what empowers you. And so many times we go through life and we kind of soak up all this stuff that just drains us, and it just takes energy from us and removes us, removes motivation, inspiration, and leaves us flat and frustrated and all this kind of stuff. And the Tree of Truth is one of the big components of this, like working out what it is that we need to change. Okay, so this is kind of where it sits in our overall solution. So here's the worksheet, and what I want to kind of say is, first of all, we look at human beings very much as like a tree, and all the signs and symptoms that we display, we class that as the twigs and the small branches and the leaves that are around the top of the tree. Okay. And this, when you go to the doctors or you go and see a personal trainer or a nutritionalist or whatever, they start to work on each one of these little symptoms. Okay, so each little leaf, each little twig, each little stick, right up here in the tree. Okay, the problem is, not only does that take a lot of effort, but it doesn't really remove the root problem. Okay. You just sort of deal with the symptoms. A classic example would be, let's say that you have got psoriasis. Okay, psoriasis, you go to the doctors and the doctor's like, right, I'm going to give you some cream and rub this cream on the psoriasis and that will stop it itching. So itchiness is a symptom. It's not the cause. So instead of like going, okay, well, what's caused this psoriasis? Maybe you're eating too much processed food or not getting enough vegetables. If we start giving you, if we cut out the processed food and give you vegetables, the psoriasis goes, and by proxy, the itchiness goes, the symptoms go. So this is kind of how we explain it. And time again, we've listened to coaches, fitness professionals, weight loss experts, food addiction people, and they talk about the symptoms. They talk about, if I can just lose a couple of pounds, I'll be happy. If I can do this thing, I'll be happy. And all this, and they're all the symptoms. In our experience, there's 3 layers to people and what we need to deal with. The symptom, all these up here, these are the thing that you can say. You'd get on the bus and you'd go, yeah, I overeat a little bit, I probably eat too much sugar. Maybe I drink a little bit too much. And you'd freely say that to a stranger. Now, the problem is there isn't a great deal of change there, of real, big impact life change, because there's so many little things. It's marginal what you're gonna, the difference you're gonna get. We've got a next layer, which is like the trunk and the bigger branches, and these are the things that you wouldn't necessarily say. So you wouldn't necessarily say, up here you go, yeah, I perhaps overeat a little bit, I perhaps eat a little bit too much sugar. But down here, you wouldn't tell a stranger that 3 or 4 times a week you go and get a bag of binge food from the supermarket and you drive to a little lay-by where no one's going to bother you, and you gorge yourself on this chocolate and cakes and all this kind of stuff to the point where you've got to purge and make yourself sick because you're just so unhappy with stuff that you need to do something that gives you a little bit of joy. And even if it's for a few seconds, it just alleviates that little bit of depression. You're never going to say these things to a stranger. And it's unlikely you're going to say these things to your personal trainer or whatever, okay? And there's some real change. If we can start tackling that, there's some good change to be had from the stuff that we won't say. But the real powerful stuff is down here in the roots. These are the things that you can't say. That, if someone said, oh, what do you think's driving that behaviour? You'd be like, and it won't come out. You cannot get it out. You cannot talk about it, because out of whatever reason, whether it's fear of being judged or the fact that it's just so ingrained, and you think it's stupid or whatever, but you just can't say it. Now, this is where real change takes place. This is where, you can change one or two of these roots and the whole of the fruits at the top of the tree just completely transform. All these symptoms fall away by hitting some of the big hitters down here. In this program, we work on the roots. Okay, it's not about, in fact, very rarely do we actually talk about losing weight, because losing weight is a byproduct of all the things that you're going to do, and losing weight is a little bit like money. Money, people say, money doesn't make you happy, and money is the root of all evil. It's not. Money is just a multiplier for whatever you've got right now. If you woke up tomorrow and you'd won the lottery, whatever you are right now, money would just multiply that. If you're depressed right now, money will multiply the depression. If you are happy, money will multiply the happiness. Your roots have got to be right before you try and do anything else. And health and fitness and weight loss is exactly the same. If you're depressed right now, just because you lose a few pounds isn't necessarily going to make you happy. It might do for a short period, but on the whole, there are other aspects that are making you eat. There are other aspects that steal your motivation and take your inspiration. There's other wiring inside your brain that is affecting what the kind of life and results that you've got right now. And this is kind of what we change. So from this video, you can see that we're working on different levels. If you want to go and, listen to somebody say, oh, well, here's a classic, your personal trainer goes, right, okay, well, if you're putting on weight, what I want you to do is I want you to stop eating chocolate, which is very logical. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm overeating, I'm eating to excess, and chocolate is a thing that I don't really need. It's just energy that I don't need, and I'm trying to lose weight, so the logical thing to do is remove the chocolate. The problem with that is we don't make choices based on logic. We make choices based on emotion, and it doesn't matter what that trainer says. When you've had a crap day or a great day, or you're feeling a little bit down or whatever, it's not going to stop you eating the chocolate. It doesn't stop these things from happening. It doesn't stop these emotional triggers for overeating, binge eating, purging, self-soothing, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't stop it. So the trainer can say whatever he wants, but nothing's going to change until we start hitting the other stuff. That, in effect, is what this program is about. So if you feel that you've got something much, much deeper than just the fact that I could do with dropping out a few glasses of wine, if it's more than that, then this is exactly right for you. The people in here are going to be just like you. And Paula and I have got vast experience in dealing with this. Not only have we coached thousands of people to completely change their lives with phenomenal amounts of weight loss and digging people out of the depths of suicidal depression, but we've lived this. We've experienced this. We talk to you through absolute empathy because we've been there. We struggled with food. We've struggled with all these emotional problems that might be driving your food choices and creating these bits of friction in your life. The great news is we've overcome it, and we've helped lots of other people overcome it. Perhaps you're the next. So I want to invite you to take advantage of this 30-day free trial where you can get in and start the process of change through the Conquer Food program. It's a powerful program. The steps are actually quite simple, but we're going to get you to think in a way that you've probably never thought of before, just like this tree of truth. I dare say that nobody's ever explained this to you, that so many people deal with the symptoms but miss completely the root cause. And if the roots are always rotten, it's always going to affect the fruits, the leaves, the small twigs and the symptoms. So jump inside, take advantage of your 30-day free trial now. Use coupon code 30FREE during checkout, and we'll see you on the inside. I look forward to it.